If your God is real, why doesn't he have integrity?
All right, my brethren and sistren, we are back with another episode. We're going to continue our conversation with Trenton, and we're going to see how we can answer this question. Why does our God have no integrity? Let's see, what does he mean by that, and how might you answer it? We're going to end this one with a banger of a question, so we're going to jump right into this. Hopefully you guys enjoy, and if you are liking these videos, make sure that you are liking and subscribing. It's that easy. Also, maybe drop some comments. I think comments are good, so try that. Alright guys, let's get with it.
When you say he doesn't have integrity, explain.
So, he created us to worship him,
Okay.
and if we don't worship him, we get poked, burned, and sliced for all of eternity.
Mm-hmm.
If you were a loving father or creator, why would you do that to your children? And if you're going to let them make the same mistakes, why would you still let them continue to make that same mistake?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see an intelligent being able to run things the way it's being run right now.
Right. You think, hey, if he was actually more smart or more intelligent, he would have done something completely different.
This is one of those very, very common objections that many people have. If God is all-knowing, if God is all-powerful, if he knows the past and he knows the future, then why is the world so bad? Or if God is all loving and so kind and so merciful, then why does he send people to hell? Right? How would you handle an objection like that? And feel free to pause and try and ponder. Maybe pop it into the comments if you can think of a pretty good pithy response.
All Quiet on the Western Front, there's this one scene at the very end of the book where there's a butterfly just flying in the sky, or by the soldiers while the war is going on, showing the indifference of nature.
Yeah.
That's what I believe. I believe in indifference, where the world really doesn't care about you. And I kind of believe in Stoicism, where it's just like the only thing you can control is yourself.
Yeah.
And your reactions. You can't always control your reactions, but you can control how you just react. Yeah.
Right. So if you had kids and they disobeyed
I don't
you, what
want
would
kids.
you do? If somebody had kids and
Okay.
they disobeyed their parents, what do you think should be done to kids who are disobedient?
Honestly, psychological is more effective than physical, I feel like. Like, I wouldn't go out and hit a kid, but I would send him in timeout, or make him think about what he did, make him write it on a piece of paper 100 times. That kind of sucked.
Right.
Yeah.
So there'd be some kind of discipline or some kind of punishment.
Yeah, you need to teach. So developmentally, you need to learn that there is punishment. So growing up, kids are always causing trouble until they realize,
Yeah.
I get spanked if I do that.
Boundaries, right?
Boundaries.
Yeah.
So I feel like disciplining children, do it in a way that is productive for them as well.
Gotcha.
So make them read. That'd be kind of a fun punishment.
Yeah. Okay, so we talked about you thought you would not be a good person because you put yourself first instead of others, right?
Mhm.
I'm assuming you're familiar with the 10 Commandments.
Yeah.
Okay. I use those sometimes as a good person test. So
Okay.
I'm going to run you through 3 or 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Ninth commandment says, "Thou shalt not lie."
I'd lie.
You have,
I will.
and you will continue.
I will continue.
Got you.
Because there are white lies,
Mhm.
and there are lies to tell people to just keep the peace.
Mhm.
I don't always lie. I'm a very honest person, but when it comes to white lies, I will tell them.
Got you. Have you ever told a not white lie?
No. As a kid growing up, so this is the developmental thing for me, is that I put a piece of plastic on this lamp and I faced it upwards, and the plastic melted.
Yep.
And I immediately ran to my dad. I told him what happened, and you know what he did? He didn't get mad. He's like, all right, we're going to fix this. And he fixed it. And recently, I made an oopsie, and I crashed my car.
Mm-hmm.
Are you okay? Wasn't mad. Let's fix this.
Yeah.
So I feel like what was the original question again?
Well, the question was, have you ever told a lie that was
So like
not just a white lie, it was for your own self-interest?
I've been taught that you are telling the truth gets you more from when I was growing up.
Yeah.
So I wasn't punished for telling the truth, so naturally I tell the truth more.
Right.
But it gets me into a lot of problems.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure. So that's why I tell the white lies sometimes, because, do you look pretty in that dress?
Yeah.
The classic.
Would you still love me if I were a worm? What kind of question is
Yeah,
that?
that's an odd one.
Yeah.
Would you? You better white lie. You have to white lie, right?
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
answer.
yeah.
Okay. So I just want to confirm, Trenton, you've never told a lie that was not for someone else's good, sounds like?
Yeah, I've told it for other people's benefits.
But never to get out of trouble.
No. Like, seriously. I'm actually stupid. I wear my blonde hair proudly.
Okay. All right. The 8th commandment says, thou shalt not steal.
Stolen.
You have stolen.
Shoplifted.
You have shoplifted.
Mm-hmm.
Did you lie about it?
Whoever asked me, I was honest with.
Okay.
It's not like the people like stopped me. It was just like, hey, you got stuff? Yes.
Got you.
No, that never happened.
Right. Okay. So the 8th commandment says, thou shalt not steal. You've broken that one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here's the 7th commandment. 7th commandment says, thou shalt not commit adultery. But before you answer, in Matthew chapter 5, Jesus says, hey, if you've looked with lust, you've committed adultery in your heart. So have you ever done that?
When you say looked with lust, like I'm looking over at that girl right now, and I'm just like, huh, she's kind of nice looking.
Okay.
That's looking with lust?
I wouldn't say that's that. No.
Or is it just like,
When
I'm looking at her, I'm just like, oh, I'm going to commit adultery?
Well, I don't know exactly how I would define it, but it's kind of one of those things where you kind of give yourself over to those thoughts, and that you are kind of almost like fantasizing, and it's getting possibly inappropriate if she knew what you were thinking. Other than, oh, that guy thinks I'm pretty. I don't think that would be inappropriate if somebody thought that.
True.
What do you think?
Honestly, I don't really like that many people, so I don't really think like that.
Okay.
So it's just like, you do you.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm gonna be. There are attractive people,
Mhm.
like objectively attractive people, where you're just like, wow.
Hello. Kidding.
Hello.
All right. So let me ask this. I'm going to ask it, but you don't have to. You do not have to answer it. You can just be like, I'm uncomfortable with that one.
Okay.
But here's a very common thing that probably 20 years ago, most people would have been like, that's taboo, and we wouldn't talk about that. But nowadays, it seems like everybody's talking about it, and nobody's concerned about it. But pornography, is that an issue? Or if that were a thing, that would be looking with lust. What do you think about
Time
that?
killer. Definite
Gotcha.
time killer.
Okay. So then, if we were to put that into the lust category, you'd be like, yes, I've done that.
Oh yeah, checkbox.
Boom. Okay. All right. So that's 3, right? I'll let you slide on the lying one, right? But you admitted that, hey, you've broken the 8th commandment, the stealing, you've broken the 7th commandment, the lust thing. All right. So if you were to stand before God on Judgment Day someday, and hopefully this is a long way away, right? God willing. And understandably, from your perspective, this could be a hypothetical. You don't think this is going to happen, right?
Yeah.
If you were to stand before this God, and he were to say, Trenton, why should I let you into my heaven? What would you say?
Well, first, I would say this is awkward.
Yes. I would imagine it very awkward.
Very awkward.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume that he would know what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So I would I'd just be like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
not really my choice.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't believe in you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sorry, I didn't expect to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Just judge me on how I acted, and if it was what you like, great. If it's not, cool. But
Okay.
I didn't expect to get this far. So
Gotcha.
it's
You're
really,
already further than you expected.
Yeah,
thought
I
this
didn't
was gonna
expect to
be
get this
lights
far.
out. Right.
Yeah, like it's really your choice. Like, my bad.
Okay. My bad, bro. Okay, so he says, I'm going to judge you by my laws, and you've broken them. Yeah, you've broken them. You'd be if we were talking about law, like terminology, you're a criminal, right? What should he? If you admitted that you'd be guilty, right?
Yeah.
What do you think God should do with guilty criminals? Should there be a reward for criminals, or should there be a punishment?
There should be a learning curve.
Learning curve. Gotcha.
You shouldn't stay in hell forever. I feel like you can learn from your sins.
Okay.
So, like, just because you mess up doesn't mean you don't deserve a second chance. And I don't understand why they miss that in Christianity.
Okay.
You don't get a second chance in Christianity. If you fuck up, you can repent, but if you don't repent, you're screwed.
Would you not consider the repenting a second chance?
It is the second chance, but it just doesn't make that much sense to me logically, because say I were to get murdered and the murderer repented.
Yep.
Do I want to be in heaven with that guy?
Two things I want to say to that. First, I think you would be happy simply for the fact that you would see someone else who has been so filled with grace, filled with God's love and forgiveness. You'll be happy to see other people forgiven. You'll be seeing God face to face, and we'll know him as he knows us. And so we will be growing and expanding in our own understanding of the world, understanding of God's grace and his mercy. And so I think the more people we'll see in heaven will really just be more individual pictures of God's own goodness and grace towards all of humanity and even myself. And then second, the other way I might answer something like this idea of if I see other people in heaven who I think are bad, will I want them to be there? And if it wasn't immediately obvious, that is a very dangerous slope to go down. Because if you get to be the arbiter of what is good in heaven, and anyone who doesn't reach a certain level that you call goodness, what's to stop the very next person who thinks that they're better than you, and they're kind of disgusted by the idea that someone like you, who has stolen or committed adultery or whatever sins that you've committed, and it disgusts them, wouldn't they have a right to say you shouldn't be in heaven? And it would just keep going on forever until you finally get to God, who is the only one who is perfect, and then he might just say, hey, no one deserves to be here. And what's funny is that's the truth. No one deserves to be there. We get there by grace.
Am I allowed to have feelings of resentment towards that guy?
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't it more morally acceptable to kill babies and send them to heaven before they can commit sin?
Mm-hmm.
These are some tough questions.
Right.
So, actually, what do you think on that one?
Which one?
Do you think it
Should we just kill babies to send them straight to heaven?
straight to heaven?
Wow, we're just going to end that one right there, right? What a banger question to ask. Should we just kill babies immediately so they can go straight to heaven, right? You might even put more on top and say, listen, you'll even protect them from suffering, right? They don't even suffer in this world. Just kill them straight to heaven. Why aren't more Christians advocating for that? Well, find out next time how I answer that one. Very interested to hear what you guys might say. So go ahead and put your answer. And why aren't Christians just killing babies immediately to send them straight to heaven? Put that in the comments. That'd be great. In the meantime, if these videos are helpful, if they are a blessing, hit those like buttons. Leave some comments down below. I think that's supposed to help. So the more interaction I can get, that'd be great. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. And that means you might need to create a Google or Gmail account. And if you haven't done that, please do that so that you can like all of the videos that you are watching. Other than that, God bless you guys. Very happy to be here with you and can't wait to see you next time. And while you're out there, be sure to walk worthy. God bless.